And it was not enough for them to have a lifestyle of any kind. Really, you go from you are the club pro and you are getting paid to be the
Right.
club pro and everything's going great. And then October rolls around and you're like, I can't do anything for the next 6 months up here. So you go down south. Well, you're not just going to take some other club pro's
No,
job down south
absolutely
in
not.
Florida or in South Carolina or something. That's not fair. So they set up tournaments so that these guys could start making a little bit of money.
Little
And
being the key word.
because of this situation, yeah, look, very much little. And eventually into the 50s, it became more of an expanded schedule. Purses grew a little bit, enough that some decided to try that out full time. So now you've got your two groups that we currently have today. You've got golf pros, who are the club pros, and you got pro
Right.
golfers, who are the touring pros. And this divide really grew in the 50s and the 60s. The money grew from the 50s to the 60s. It was $1 million in 58. It grew to almost 6 million in 68. And the reason for the growth is twofold and pretty obvious if you think about it. One, television, which we've seen how much it does to sports in general. And two, with television came a new hero in golf by the name of Arnold Palmer.
Right.
Makes a bit of a difference when you have a Pied Piper, in a sense.
It does. It 100% does. Because it's that when you have somebody who is the face of your tour and it becomes this kind of folk hero, it's going to draw more attention. But what seems to be the problem is the way in which they started to govern this tour. Because
Yeah,
go ahead.
that and the masses, the number
Right.
of people, the number of people trying to make it on tour, where you had more people than they even wanted to be involved. Look, you look at
Right.
tournaments now, it starts off at about 150 people or so, and it levels out to around 70 to 80 for the making the cut. And those are the guys that are really making the money. Back then, those were the guys only making money. So you got this convoluted group of guys trying to make some money on the tour, but there's so many of them out there that they're just letting everybody in. Anybody that was a PGA member could play in a tournament.
Right.
And so because of that led to more necessity and what basically became the birth of Q School, where you got to go to earn your PGA Tour card.
Right,
Now,
which Q is obviously short for qualifying school. But what's crazy about that qualifying school, which makes the situation even more tenuous, is the fact that you had to pay to be in that tournament. And over half of the field would get cut, so no shot at even making the money back, which is an incredibly tough situation.
not just a tournament. You got to pay. You got to pay for
Exactly.
caddy. You got to pay for lodging.
Food.
You got to pay
Right.
for food. Everything along with paying for the tournament, and you could walk away with absolutely nothing. It's a terrible way to make a living.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?